Now, apart from all that, obviously the
Yep.
subject of today is selling, and obviously you're the head of a global events agency, experiential events agency. And we had a quick chat before we came on, and I think it's a good place to start.
Yep.
With sales in general, we've got a couple of things we've got to roll into in a second, but with sales in general, just to set up the topic, in your opinion, because we're marketeers, like me and Liam are more marketeers than sales.
You definitely are. Yep.
Do you think sales gets a bit of a bad rap sometimes? Because some people think of sales as a bit dirty, and some people
definitely
think of
like a kebab.
Some people think of marketing as a bit of a dirty subject. What's your take on that?
Yeah. No, I think some people don't see marketing as dirty, more fluffy, if I'm honest.
Party planners.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think everyone's got their view and perspective of it, depending where they sit on that side of the fence. And I'm just fortunate that I've sat on both sides of the fence and lots of different sides of the fence. And now I have to watch the fence from above, if you know what I mean. So neither is dirty or fluffy. They're both a bit of both, as always. And actually understanding one another is actually one of the keys to success. So marketing definitely has a place, and sales definitely has a place, and neither is more valuable than the other, because marketing actually generates all your brand integrity. It generates what people recognize you as a brand, and actually can generate that interest and preconception of what you're about. But sales are also key because they're actually the point of that spear. And sales are actually the ones who directly then engage with the clients and actually find out what they truly need and make sure that there is a good match between those things, and then package that together in a way that actually meets their needs. And you can't do one without the other, but you can see that if you're in sales, you think quite tactically because you're focused in on delivering to a client needs. And when you're in marketing, you're thinking probably more holistically and strategically because you're trying to catch all. You're trying to think about your target audience and how do I make a brand statement that engages as many of those as possible. So that's why to a salesperson or team, marketing seems more fluffy. And that's why to marketing, sales seems a bit more down and dirty, as you say it, as we just said, the kebab of the meals. But in actual fact, it is the tip of the spear. If it is, then marketing is the shaft of the spear.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you just mentioned there around the differences, I think the core element that I've come to understand over the last few years is good sales and good marketing is very different to shitty sales and shitty marketing. And I think where the two really come together, and probably what we're going to discuss in a short while, is how these two kind of come together. And I suppose where the bridge actually meets is this virtual world that we find ourselves in now. I think the barriers are blurring an awful lot, where I think sales was very defined, where it was less digital. And now what we're finding, because it is more digital, the two things are combining between sales and marketing. Do you think that's a fair point?
I agree and disagree, if I'm honest. So I think the lines are definitely blurring with almost everything we do for lots of different reasons. And I do think that technology advancements is one of those. And I think the knock-on effect of technology advancement is a big factor in that. So now we've all become digital. I still remember when we first went digital, basically people said all the printing companies were dead and all these kind of knock-on effects that they were talking about from a negative perspective. And the truth is we print more now than we ever did. So, and then you go into, well, why is that? And the real reason is because we now communicate more than we ever did. Because before, we never used to be able to email. We had to send a memo in the post. Now we can email pretty easily, pretty frequently to large groups of people, and in any place in the world. So what we've seen is this massive growth of communication, which has knocked on to what you're talking about. Because of that, that's created this big convergence of all of the departments, because we're now able to communicate much more freely with each other. And I think that is a great thing. That is a good thing. There's also, with every good thing, it's a double-edged sword. There's a danger in it that people can over-communicate. The important communication can get lost amongst the cannon fodder of other comms. But I still think that the fundamentals behind it haven't changed. So that's why I only half agree with you. So I think I actually would say to you that the strategic side to it is the same, but the tactics always change every single day.